Birds aren't real. According to this parody, or maybe not parody, movement, all birds were secretly replaced by government surveillance drones sometime between the 1950s and the early 2000s. Why? Because who suspects the sparrow on your windowsill of being a CIA operative? They say the government got tired of traditional spy techniques, so it wiped out real birds and replaced them with robotic lookalikes. You know, because installing cameras on buildings was apparently too obvious. The theory claims that pigeons, not real, they're drones, and when they're sitting on power lines, they're not resting, they're recharging. The phrase, birds aren't real, is now on t-shirts, billboards, bumper stickers, and student protest signs across the US. It started as satire, but some people really leaned into it. Whether they're in on the joke or deeply committed to feathered surveillance truth, no one's quite sure anymore. The movement's founder has even gone on national TV completely in character, accusing birds of espionage with a straight face. Honestly, it's kind of impressive. So, next time you see a seagull staring at you with dead eyes, don't panic. Just know the government is probably watching you through a crow. The moon landing was faked. Some people genuinely believe that in 1969, the US didn't land on the moon. Hollywood did. According to this theory, Apollo 11 was just a very expensive film shoot directed by none other than Stanley Kubrick, possibly on a secret set in Nevada, or Hollywood, or Area 51. The location changes depending on who you ask. Their evidence? The American flag appears to be waving, despite there being no wind on the moon. Shadows fall in weird directions. Clearly, multiple light sources like stage lighting. And the biggest red flag, there are no stars in the background, because NASA, they say, forgot to add them. Some claim the astronauts' boots don't match their footprints. Others say the whole thing looks too cinematic. One guy on YouTube slowed down the footage and declared, "That's definitely wire work." To believers, it was all part of a Cold War flex. America needed a win, and rather than risk failure, they faked success. Because obviously, lying to the world on live TV is easier than flying to the moon. NASA, for its part, has responded with actual moon rocks, detailed telemetry data, and hundreds of scientists saying, seriously? But still, these conspiracy theorists think Neil Armstrong took one small step onto a movie set. The Earth is flat. According to flat earthers, the planet we live on isn't a spinning globe, but a giant flat disk. Think of it like a cosmic pizza, but with a very cold, frosty crust. Now, what's keeping this disk from flying off into space? A massive ice wall. Yes, an ice wall, like something straight out of Game of Thrones, but instead of dragons, it's just Antarctica, which is really more of a giant ring than a continent. This wall is the ultimate fridge, keeping all our oceans contained and our Earth nice and chilly. And NASA? Oh, they're basically the Night's Watch, guarding this ice wall 24/7 to stop anyone from climbing over and falling off the edge. Flights? Yeah, they don't go in straight lines. They're just circling the flat Earth like a very confusing racetrack. Satellites? Totally fake. Space? A hoax? Gravity? A government conspiracy. Apparently, we're just sticking to this flat surface due to density, buoyancy, and maybe a little bit of magic. The North Pole's in the center, with the sun and moon floating above like lamps on strings. Despite science, evidence, and basic logic, flat earthers remain confident that the Earth is a pizza, just one we've all been brainwashed to believe is round. Reptilian overlords control the world. According to this theory, world governments aren't run by humans. They're run by reptiles. Not just any reptiles, shape-shifting, blood-drinking lizard people from another dimension. They walk among us, wearing human suits, running for office, attending award shows, performing at the Super Bowl halftime show, and ruling the world from behind the scenes with cold-blooded precision. The idea was popularized by former sports commentator turned full-time conspiracy theorist David Icke. He claims that an interdimensional race of reptilian beings called the Anunnaki secretly control global politics, the banking system, and your recommended YouTube feed. And they're everywhere. Queen Elizabeth, reptile. Mark Zuckerberg, definitely reptile. Beyonce, lizard in heels. Justin Bieber, caught glitching on camera at LAX. Katy Perry, don't even get them started. Supporters say they've spotted eye slits and skin flickers during interviews. One woman on Reddit swears she saw a politician's tongue flick out mid-sentence. According to believers, these lizards feed off negative human energy, control the media, and live in underground bunkers. And somehow, they also run the Grammys. Skeptics say there's zero evidence and that maybe, just maybe, we should stop diagnosing people with lizard. But to the true believers, it all makes perfect sense. Because if you look powerful, cold, and extremely rich, you're probably a reptile. The Illuminati runs everything. Picture this. A shadowy group of ultra-wealthy elites who secretly control, well, everything. The media, the government, the economy, your Wi-Fi password, the Kardashians. They pull the strings behind the scenes while sipping champagne in their underground lairs, probably beneath a mountain or inside a penthouse with a view of the world's stock markets. These shadowy figures are said to be part of the Illuminati, a secret society so exclusive that not even your grandma can get in. The evidence, it's everywhere. YouTube conspiracy theorists have scoured the music industry for proof. You've probably seen that one bizarre music video that definitely contains hidden messages. The triangle symbol? Definitely an Illuminati nod. The all-seeing eye that keeps popping up on dollar bills? Definitely them watching you eat that second donut. According to theorists, even Beyoncé's dance moves are coded messages. Every hand gesture, every eye twitch, a call to action for the elites to maintain power. And that pyramid logo on your favorite cereal box? Yeah, that's the Illuminati telling you they're secretly controlling your breakfast routine. These theorists claim that world events like political scandals, natural disasters, and your neighbor's dog barking at 3 a.m. are all secretly orchestrated by the Illuminati to keep us in check. They're trying to maintain the status quo so they can continue to dominate the world and probably get away with hoarding all the gold in the secret vaults of Fort Knox. Oh, and don't get me started on the hand gestures. If someone flashes a quick triangle or throws up a rock-on gesture at a concert, they're not just trying to look cool. They're sending coded signals to their Illuminati buddies. I mean, everyone knows the best way to secretly rule the world is with hand signs and ancient symbols, right? But if you ask any scientist or historian, they'll tell you it's all just coincidence and extreme paranoia. Of course, to believers, that's exactly what the Illuminati wants you to think. Vaccines contain microchips. Oh yes, the theory goes that vaccines, especially the COVID-19 ones, aren't just about preventing illness. Nope, they're secretly implanting microchips to track you, because apparently, Bill Gates and his team of tech geniuses are just dying to know where you're going for coffee and what time you leave your house in the morning. According to this theory, the vaccine is really just a Trojan horse, a tiny, invisible computer chip in a syringe. Why? Well, for one, global control, of course. Who needs a GPS on your phone when they can inject you with a chip that tracks your every move? You know, so they can track you while you're standing in line for the new iPhone. And then there's the 5G connection. The theory claims that 5G towers are part of the grand scheme, possibly emitting signals that work with these microchips to control your mind. Yeah, 5G, for when you want a faster phone and the government to control your thoughts. Scientists, they've tried to explain over and over that vaccines are not tracking devices, and 5G isn't a mind control conspiracy. But of course, for believers, that's just part of the cover-up. It's the perfect plan. Make everyone think it's not happening while they track your location at Starbucks. Chemtrails are real. You know those white streaks that planes leave behind in the sky? Yeah, according to some, that's definitely not just condensation. Nope, it's chemicals. That's right, chemicals. According to this theory, governments are secretly spraying all sorts of substances into the atmosphere to control the weather, the population, or even our minds. It's like a global air freshener, but with a dark twist. Some say the government is using these chemtrails to manipulate the weather. A little extra rain here, a heat wave there, maybe a hurricane to distract everyone from the news. Others think it's about population control, slowly reducing the number of us who question why there's a strange fog rolling in every now and then. And of course, some theorists claim it's mind control. Who doesn't love a good mind control conspiracy with a side of weather manipulation? Now, what exactly is in these chemtrails? That's the million-dollar question. Some say it's barium, aluminum, and other exotic-sounding chemicals. Others just call it government fog and leave it at that. Scientists, on the other hand, say it's nothing more than jet exhaust, just water vapor. But to believers, that's just the official cover-up. Of course, we'll all know the truth once they spray the secret ingredient, whatever that is. 9/11 was an inside job. Some people believe that the September 11th, 2001 attacks weren't just carried out by terrorists, but actually orchestrated by the US government itself. Why? To justify war in the Middle East, increase surveillance, and maybe test how many red flags you can wave before people ask questions. The theory hinges on a few key points. First, the infamous phrase, "jet fuel can't melt steel beams." That sentence launched 1,000 memes. Conspiracy theorists argue that the Twin Towers didn't just collapse from plane impacts, but from a controlled demolition, as in, explosives were secretly planted in advance. Because apparently, taking down 2 skyscrapers in broad daylight isn't dramatic enough without pyrotechnics. Then there's Building 7, a nearby structure that fell later that day, without being hit by a plane. Cue the suspicious eyebrow raise. Supporters claim the whole event was staged to create chaos and fear, letting the government pass laws like the Patriot Act and invade oil-rich countries. Official investigations? They've explained all this, citing structural damage, fires, and physics. But for true believers, that's just what they want you to think. Because in their minds, no tragedy is complete without a twist ending, and possibly a government plot. Paul McCartney is dead. According to this theory, the real Paul McCartney died in a car crash in 1966, and the Beatles quietly replaced him with a lookalike named Billy Shears. Because, you know, swapping out a global superstar without anyone noticing is totally doable. Fans say the clues are everywhere. Play Revolution 9 backward, and you'll hear, "Turn me on, dead man." On the Abbey Road cover, Paul's barefoot, clearly a sign of a funeral procession. His voice changed, his face changed, his vibe suspiciously alive. Despite the rumors, Paul McCartney is still very much alive and has even poked fun at the theory. But to believers, that's just what a well-trained imposter would do. The Denver airport is a secret HQ. Denver International Airport isn't just an airport, it's a portal to something. According to conspiracy theorists, it's secretly an underground bunker, an Illuminati command center, or a FEMA concentration camp, because clearly baggage claim wasn't mysterious enough. The clues? Oh, they're everywhere. Start with the giant 32-foot-tall blue horse statue with glowing red eyes, lovingly nicknamed Blucifer, which literally killed its creator. Then there are the bizarre murals, children in gas masks, apocalyptic soldiers, and doves crying under rainbows, very normal airport decor. A Masonic capstone with strange inscriptions? Naturally. An underground tunnel system? Of course. An elite lizard-human boardroom 5 levels down? Probably. Instead of denying it, the airport leaned in. They put up signs saying, "Nothing to see here," and built a fake Illuminati headquarters exhibit, which, to conspiracy theorists, just confirms everything, because nothing says "not suspicious" like aggressively denying you're suspicious. The JFK assassination wasn't a lone shooter. The official story says that on November 22, 1963, Lee Harvey Oswald fired 3 shots from the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository and assassinated President John F. Kennedy. Case closed. Except not really. According to conspiracy theorists, Oswald didn't act alone, or at all. Some say there were multiple shooters, others say the CIA was behind it, and a few throw in the Mafia, the KGB, or even Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson, because apparently when it comes to suspects, everyone's invited. There's the infamous magic bullet theory, where one bullet allegedly changed directions mid-air, zigzagged through multiple people, and still looked surprisingly intact. Skeptics say it behaved less like a bullet and more like a confused Roomba. Then there's the grassy knoll, the Zapruder film, missing autopsy photos, and mysterious witnesses who just stopped talking. Official investigations like the Warren Commission concluded Oswald acted alone, but for many that just makes it more suspicious. After all, the deeper the denial, the deeper the conspiracy, right? And so, decades later, people are still asking the same question. Was it a lone gunman? Or was JFK caught in the middle of the most chaotic group project in American history? Area 51 holds aliens. This secretive military base in Nevada has been the epicenter of alien rumors for decades. Theorists claim that after the 1947 Roswell incident, where an alleged UFO crashed, the wreckage and extraterrestrial beings were quietly transported to Area 51 for research. The government, of course, denies it all, but hey, they've been denying a lot of things lately. In 2019, the internet had a laugh and stormed Area 51. Thousands of people pledged to invade the base and see them aliens, with plans to move faster than the military could react. The event quickly turned into a bizarre festival of memes, cosplay, and questionable life choices. But in the end, no aliens were found. Surprise, surprise. Maybe they were busy, or just avoiding the madness. Who knows? They might be watching us from somewhere else, laughing right back.